That is one gnarly sounding bike. See what I did to the exhaust here. So after the headers, after the mass airflow sensor, I got one cat in. What I did was cut open the bread box that was there and basically carve it away with a grinder. I left one in there just to stop things from going inside and whatever. Yeah, give this bike a listen. I don't know if the camera's going to do it justice. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Okay, Friday morning, greasy alley as usual. Let me tell you, the reason I modified the exhaust that way was because I was able to pick up a second stock exhaust on just a used stock exhaust. So I thought, you know, 60 bucks for this used exhaust, that'll give me the opportunity to experiment a little bit. Just see what it sounds like. You know, I was totally willing just to throw out my experiment should it go sideways. I didn't do a tune or anything on the bike. Runs fine, doesn't backfire or anything like that. You know those aftermarket exhausts that you get on, you know, you get them on the internet, Akrapovic, Two Brothers, all those kinds of exhausts out there. Man, those aren't cheap. Those are like $1,200, and then, you know, people try and tune their machine to suit the exhaust. Like, yeah, that's a crazy heavy expense to pay for a performance sounding machine, especially since it is like a high performance machine. So yeah, I might go back to quiet. I might just tone it down a little bit. I know the dog is probably bothered by how loud it is here. I guess it really depends on the type of bike you have and the style of riding you do, what you want your machine to sound like. I know that Kawasaki Vulcan that I have, I ripped the baffles out of that thing, so there's no going back. It was essentially cost me $0 to pull those baffles out. And what a different sounding machine, man. That thing screams. The V-twin engine, there's nothing like that sound. Yeah, so I've ridden that bike, that cruiser, for a while, and, you know, with the baffles in it, and after taking the baffles out, what a different experience. It was just like, just brought the biggest smile to my face, not because it's obnoxious, because I get that feedback from the throttle. Like, I move the throttle a little bit, and I get a whole lot of feedback. Also, the engine braking is a very gnarly, lovely sound. The gurgle of a V-twin. Man, what a different riding experience is all I can say. So I'm really glad that I took the baffles out of that thing. This bike is even louder. It's obnoxiously loud, screaming loud. Rightfully so. I'm basically running open headers. So, you know, with personal preference, like, I don't know, I thought I'd give it a try. People can hear me long before they can see me, but there are downsides to it too. If I'm in a parking lot or off in some field doing something that I probably shouldn't be, I don't want to be drawing too much attention to myself. And one surefire way to do that is make yourself heard. So, you know, if I go to work a little early and I go ripping around the fields, people are gonna know on this machine it's loud. But a dual sport bike, for example, it's in my opinion left quiet. It's better off that way. I'm gonna leave my WR250R quiet. It's got just a stock exhaust, all those baffles and emissions control systems inside. I'm just gonna leave it like that for now anyway, simply just because that is basically my messing around machine. And if I'm gonna be messing around all hoogling hooligan, yeah, going all hooligan on everybody. I don't really want to be drawing all that kind of attention to myself. So, dual sport bike, keep it quiet. Cruiser, V-twin. Yeah, crank that shit up, man. That sounds awesome. There is no sound like it. This thing, you know, you get a sport bike or a naked bike, I'm not gonna lie, it enhances the experience. It growls, people notice me. If I'm pulling up beside somebody who could be changing lanes, I just rev that engine and they know I'm coming. So I guess it really comes down to your riding style, personal preference, and wallet. How much money are you willing to spend on some aftermarket brand name exhaust? You know, this thing sounds amazing. I wouldn't want it to sound any other way had I spent $1,200 or $1,500 putting full exhaust on here. Anyways, let's get some fuel, and maybe a sandwich or something, because I'm hungry. Haha. Yeah. Okay, catch you in a minute. Yeah, the sound of a motorcycle is definitely part of the experience of motorcycling. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I know they're coming out with all these electric bikes and everything, but I just don't think you're going to be able to sway people away from these loud, gnarly machines. I still, you know, I may put the quiet exhaust back on this machine just because, I mean, when I'm just rolling along in second gear here, this bike is screaming, man. Just screaming, and I'm just idling here in second, hanging out, 5,500 RPM, you know, just hanging out. This thing is fucking loud, man. In second gear. Oh yeah, and then look at that, I hit the throttle and the back tire just goes spinning. Wow, did I ever do a lot of breaking loose right there. It's pretty easy to do just in standard mode on this motorcycle. And you know, I would be curious to see what it does on a dyno with open headers, you know. Not something I'm willing to pay to find out, but open headers on this thing, like it's got a lot of torque already. But there's no doubt about it, the bike does breathe better. Okay, so we're all the way down here at bridge number 5? 2? 5? Yeah, this is bridge 5, I think. The fuck, man? No, this is number 2. So there it is. Like, you know, in my opinion, it really comes down to the riding style you do, how much money you want to spend, what you want your bike to sound like, and everything else. But yeah, this thing vibrates my chest when I stand too close to it and hit the throttle. It's fucking crazy. Back downtown on Friday, and this bike is just screaming along in second gear as usual, just singing. I get a lot of smiles and a lot of thumbs up from a lot of people, which I assume hear me coming before they actually see me coming.